Good morning everyone. I'm being a bit lazy here. As you may have guessed, typing is not one of my favourite things to do, and I've got on here, I've mentioned on some replies to various members, the societies, the Cactus Forum, which I believe is open to non-members of the Cactus and Succulent Society of Great Britain, and I believe it's worldwide. So I mentioned that. Also, I give you the two addresses and that of what I consider the two of the main societies in Great Britain. Now, the first one, it's so much easier to do it like this than typing it out. I'm looking at the MSG, which is this one, and at the bottom, I'm hoping it's turned out okay because my eyes are not that good at the moment, it should say the editor and secretary, and there you'll find the phone number and the email address. The email, in case it hasn't come out, is msg@mesem.org, all in small letters. I think it will probably show. Anyhow, this is for members who want to join or find out about seeds. The member in Australia is very interested in obtaining seeds and knowing whether certain seeds would be allowed into Australia. I think any seed of the mesems would be okay, but to confirm it, have a word with Suzanne Mace, who runs the MSG. MSG, so if anyone's interested, that is the frontage of the journal, or bulletin to give the correct name. Anyway, go on to Cactus World. This is the journal of the British Cactus and Succulent Society. This originally, there was two societies, the National and the GB Society. GB Society was centred more or less around London, and the National was situated in Yorkshire. The early, well, it's still on the badge. If you look at that badge there, it is very similar to the old GB badge, but you've also got the white rose, and that was the white rose of Yorkshire, which signifies the National. Anyhow, they do run a forum. As far as I know, the forum is for any person. I don't think you need to be a member to actually join. I stand corrected, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. If anyone's interested in joining this as a society, we have all the details down there, which should be showing up okay on my video. You've got your officials, the editorial team, but the important part, I think, is the part down here which I'm looking at. It's got the members and that, and I think it's got your bank details and everything else. So, as I say, membership is open to everyone, and I think the forums, which are very good, are open to everyone, and they don't have to be a member. But don't quote me on that. I think I'm right. I'll give an idea of what is in this publications. And this is comments. It's a very good publication. I've been a member of this since the 1950s. Then it was, as I said before, the GB Society, and some years later I joined the National, and then the two societies joined. I won't give any politics or anything to do with it. Suffice to say that we have formed a very nice journal. This journal, as I say, is devoted to the cacti and succulents, whereas the MSG was devoted to the mesems, or Azoaceae, Mesembryanthemacea. Any questions put down, and I'll try to answer them. I'm hoping I've answered some of the questions. It's easier to do it like this than type. I'm not very good at typing, and unfortunately, as you all know, I'm waiting for a cataract operation, so my eyes are not that good, and typing I often spell something wrong or press the wrong key. That's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. Anyway, while we're in the greenhouse, it's a little bit more advanced to what it was last time. Let's have a little look. Some of the stuff's the same, but it's all growing. A few Perescias. This is a cacti with leaves. I don't think these were out last time. These are Gyroderma or silver skins, and the colours are very nice. I once more will apologise for the fact that some of them have got split. All these plants are undergoing a lot of changes. Some will end up being potted up singly, but in the meantime they probably got a little bit too much water, hence the reason why they're split. But don't worry, the next year they'll be okay. The Simulans are the same, more or less the same. The seed capsules on them are getting nice and ripe. They're not ripe yet, they're not take-offable, but when they are I shall take them off. Connos are more or less the same. Comments will also be the same, that these have got to be sorted out next year, put into single pots or what have you. My other Plaspedes, these are seedlings of Simulans and 2 adult Simulans. They too have got nice fat seed pods. Got the odd conno in the front there. The other ones I show are also Simulans. I've got Nellies somewhere, I think they might be in the other house. Have a quick look at the propagating. A lot of this stuff has shot up. My Stephania, I've always wanted a Stephania. After seeing Stephania glabra in Kew Gardens as a kid, I saw this plant and it was beautiful. It only showed the cortex, but I've seen it since. Years ago this was, and it's made a long stem. Now this plant I've got as a stem which has been produced, and it's going up. It's past the electrics now, so it's doing quite well. And while we're talking about the propagator, here's some of the other plants. These are all seem to be doing well. We're getting a bit of fairly good weather for the time of year. There's my Testudinaria or Diosacri sylvatica. Unfortunately, the one at the back, I might have to knock it out of the pot and see what's going on. Here, it's not, it's fairly soft. So I'm a little bit worried about that. It was a plant I got recently and it looked okay, but at the moment it doesn't look too good, so we might whip that out of the pot and have a little look and see what can be done. Another plant at the back there. The label of that is actually missing. We can look inside there. These are still being watered, by the way. They're in active growth, so we give them a little drink. The heat pad feels like it's on. I've got it set. You can see the set temperature here. It should show 22 is the temperature it's set at, and the actual temperature at the moment is also 22. We're 22.7. So that seems to be working okay. The other one's under cover. As I stated previously, I'm going to have to build this up, make it a bit higher. A friend of mine has pointed out that on Amazon they do a propagator. It sounds quite good. It's got more height to it. It uses the same thermostat as this one, the thermostat, but they do it, and I looked at it. It looks quite good actually. Whether I get another one for one of the other greenhouses, I don't know at this stage. As I say, money don't grow on trees, so I've got to be a bit careful. There's my little euphorbia which lost its roots. It looks like it's rooted and producing some leaves. The one behind it is doing fine. The name I've missed at the moment. Where is it? There's the name, it's a plumeria. That's coming on nicely as well. Anyhow, I can't really come down here just to talk about the two societies to save me writing it all up. I can put it on a video and it's much easier. The lapidarias have had their flowering. As there could be a seed capsule like the one at the back there. We'll wait and see. Once they've started to produce the seed, we're laughing. And as I say, the way to water these plants in this frame is to use a pressure sprayer. There it is on the ground. A nice pressure sprayer, which I picked up for about £2 at a boot sale. Nothing wrong with it, it's working fine. It's got a pressure gauge on it, so you don't pump it up too much. Behind there, unfortunately, we will be using soon are my heaters. Don't know which ones I'm going to use. That one, there's an oil-filled heater. One with the thing is oil-filled heater. Anyway, oh yes, another reason for putting this in was to show you the datura. Well, I call it datura, but I think the correct name is Brugmansia. Tubular flower. I think it's as open as it's going to be. Brugmansia. It belongs to the Solanaceae, the deadly nightshade family, potato family, tomato family, and these plants are toxic, so don't go eating the leaves or letting anything nibble the leaves. It would not do them any good. While talking about plants which are poisonous, I can turn around and have a last quick look at the other poisonous plants that are in the garden. Excuse the weeds, they've been treated. Now that's, as far as I know, is okay, but other ones there, the castor oil plants, Ricinus I believe is the name, these are in fact poisonous, and they're doing very well. Also for one of our members from Australia, I was talking about giant or large tree ferns. I've got two of them. They're different species. Well, they appear to be different species. The leaves are slightly different. Still in full leaf, and these have been out quite a few years now. They get through our winter okay, but they're from down under, either Australia or New Zealand. And in the middle we've got an aspidestra. I've got loads of aspidestras in the garden. They too also grow outside, no problems. Once again, do excuse the weeds, I have treated them. The opuntias, which have done very well this year. The little pond with spatterdocs, which are dying off because they've come to the end of the season. They'll die back down and show themselves in the spring. A few more opuntias. This one looks like it's flopped over, but it's okay. Where the pads touch the ground, they'll just reroot. And as you can see, they've flowered. They've got prickly pears on them. One's got prickly pears as well. Those two are different species, I believe. Don't know the species. It could be Engelmannii, but they're tough. And this one too is also possibly the same species, maybe a different clone. I've got a ginormous yucca. Phoenix palm. That's done well. I've had to cut the leaves back. I couldn't walk down the path otherwise. That, believe it or not, is more or less it for the time being. The plant is laying down on the floor. The pot blew over, but the root goes through the pot into the ground. So it's going to be a job to set that back again. Well, yeah, it's a bit messy. There's a Puntia robusta at the back. This always gets attacked by blooming slugs and snails. As you can see, I've treated and treated, but it's very, very hard to prevent it. I've got slug bait down there. It's a case of, unfortunately, living with it. It's a blooming nuisance. And in the back there, got some little pans of a Puntia. I think that's a Puntia compressor. That is very hardy, and all these plants live outdoors. The canna, which we're looking at now, I'm going to have to bring that into to the greenhouse. That's in a pot, so that'll have to possibly be brought in. That's done very well this year. It's produced flower spikes, numerous flower spikes. When they're over, I cut them back, and a new one comes up. So I'm pleased with that. Anyhow, do excuse the weeds, they've all been treated. I can't do everything. I'm not going to try and do everything. So once again, thanks for watching. Any questions, please leave. Any comments, please make. Hopefully the information on the two societies, which was the main reason for putting this up, will be helpful. I'm hoping they've turned out okay. If you want to know anything else, let us know and I'll get back to you. Thanks again. Please subscribe, please comment, please rate. Thank you.